your chapter 3 on the topic Introduction to Functions. Okay, first let's start off with the relations and functions. There are 4 types of relations basically. The first type is called the one-to-one, meaning that one input will produce one output. Yeah? So every element from X will have one output or one element in Y. Next, if one element from X, one input produces more than two or more outputs, then we say this kind of relationship as one to many. In the third example, we have on the left hand side, there are 2 elements. Yeah? 2 elements with only one output. So whenever you see there are 2 or more elements, 2 or more inputs producing one output, then we say this kind of relationship as many to one. Next, in this relationship, we see on the left hand side input where more than one input produces one output. We also have one input produces 2 output. So therefore we call this a many to many relations. Okay, what about function? A function is actually consists of any relations that produce only one output. So in the previous example, we have seen 4 types of relations. Out of the 4, only 2 produces what we call a function, where there is only one input. Yeah? There's one input produces one output, or many input produces one output. So in other words, any relations that produce only one output is known as function. Okay? Next, let's look at an example. Which of the following equations will define y as a function of x? Example A. If we are given the equation y equals to 3x, so the first step is to draw or sketch this line, y equals to 3x. So the line is as shown here. Okay? So from this line, what you do is to find an input from x, and then draw dotted line onto the line, and then from here look at the output on the y-axis. So we can see from this graph, one input produces one output on the y-axis. One x produces one y. Similar to this one x produces one y, and if you look at this point, x produces one output y, and for this input x, we have one output y. So therefore, this kind of relations is called a one-to-one relation. So therefore, this line is, this equation is a function. Next, if we are given the equation y equals to x squared, so if we sketch the curve y equals to x squared, so this is how the curve is going to look like. So again, what you do is try to plot from the curve, take one input from x, and then draw a dotted line to the line y equals to x squared, and then from here, and let's see what is the output on the y-axis. So we can see from this graph, we have one input here produces one output, and then another input here also produces the same output. So in other words, this is called the many to one relation. So if it is many to one, therefore we can say this relation is also a function. Next example, if you are given y equals to square root of x. So the first step is to bring the square root to the left side. So we will have y squared equals to x, and then we sketch the curve. We will get the curve as shown in blue. Okay, y squared equals to x. So what you need to do is to find one input on X, and then draw dotted line to the curve, and then plot against the y-axis, then we will find that one input produces one output. But here the same input will produce another output. So therefore we can say this kind of relationship as one input but many output, or we say one to many. So if it is one to many, then we can say this curve is not a function. Remember, function means there is only one output.